Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an Instant Pot yogurt video. I'm going to show you how to make yogurt in your Instant Pot. I actually have a lot to say about this, and so what I'm going to do is just show you how I make the yogurt in the Instant Pot. And stay tuned because after the recipe video, I'm gonna go through and just kind of talk about how I came to this recipe and what worked and what didn't. Because I had to try this like 3 or 4 times with various ingredients and various methods to get it to this way. And I am so wonderfully happy with the result. This is something that I mean, as long as I have time, I plan on doing this for, I guess, for the long term. So let's just jump right into that recipe video and stay tuned, and I will go over my whole process. And so I hope you enjoy.
Okay, let's talk about what you're going to need for this recipe. I'm just using half a gallon of milk. I went with 2%. And also, so that you can make this yogurt, you need some cultured yogurt as a starter. I'm using plain Greek yogurt for this. And the sweetener that I chose here is sweetened condensed milk. This is totally optional, but if you want to taste good, you need this. Also, of course, you need your Instant Pot, and this is a thermometer, a digital one that I got years ago. I think it came from Target, but it's the kind with the probe that will go into a chicken or a turkey or something, and it works really well for this purpose. The first step in this process is, of course, dumping all of the milk into the Instant Pot. You guys are going to have to trust me. When I first made this, I thought, no way is this going to end up yogurt. It really does. Just trust the process. Something important to note is that we're not going to be using the pressure feature on your Instant Pot for this, so you can go ahead and remove that silicone ring if you want and just put that to the side. To start, we're going to choose the boil option, and you have to double click the yogurt button and it will boil your yogurt. It's going to boil it to about 180 degrees, and once it gets to 180 degrees, you can take it out. If it does not come to 180 degrees when you check it at this point, all you have to do is just put your Instant Pot on the saute setting until it does get up to temperature. Every time I've done this, I think only once did it not get it up to temperature. So usually the yogurt button is sufficient at getting it up to 180 degrees. The next step is to fill the sink with cold water. I filled it up about 1/3 of the way, and this is to cool the yogurt down to, or cool the milk down to about 110 degrees. And in all of my experimenting, this took about 10 to 15 minutes. This is another time when your thermometer will come in useful. You can see that I'm just sticking it in there. And with this particular thermometer, it has a setting so that you can just set the desired temperature, and it will alert you when it gets to that certain temperature. Okay, this part is absolutely disgusting. It is my least favorite part of this. Peeling off the milk skin. It is so disgusting, and it doesn't smell bad. It's just weird. And I'm using the probe here for that, but it's best, as you'll see in a second, to use a fork or something to get that milk skin off the top. Now after the milk comes out of the little water bath there, it's time to add in the sweetened condensed milk and the yogurt. What I'm doing is whisking, obviously pretty quickly, but I'm getting, as much as I can out of the can. If I don't get everything out of it, it's totally fine. But I don't know why, but all of the blogs said to whisk it without touching the bottom, without whisking the bottom. I don't know why. So I just kind of whisk about in the top third, and this is a great time because it's still a little over 100 degrees and you're adding things in there so the yogurt and the sugar will dissolve easily. Now it's time to put on the lid, and this is a great time to just go to bed. I like to set this overnight. All you do is you hit the yogurt button to 8 or 9 hours and just wait and see what happens. Oh, and be sure to depressurize it.
Okay, moment of truth. Back up here. The spoon should stand up. Oh! Good enough.
After you have successfully made the yogurt, now it's time to chill. So I just take the whole pot out of the Instant Pot and put it in the fridge about 4 to 5 hours. And after that, it is ready. You can see it's set up just a little bit better, and it's time to eat or put into containers or whatever you want. The texture is a little bit different than store-bought, but it's just so good. We are real big on fruit on the bottom yogurt at our house, and so I create my own little version of that. And I found these little plastic things in our cupboard, and they work really well. I just take a dollop of whatever jelly we have or preserves or whatever and put it in the bottom, just maybe a tablespoon or so. It doesn't take much. And then fill each container with yogurt, and that's it. Another thing that I did at one point was I took a big spaghetti sauce jar and I put yogurt in there and some of the jelly and shook it up and made like a blended yogurt kind of. Or you could totally just do it in your blender. I have learned that the more you stir this though, the looser it gets. I also have this jar that I filled up because I prefer it plain, and then I put all of my little tiny jars in the fridge in my yogurt container.
All right, so let's talk. First of all, I have a little conspiracy theory that I want to talk about. If you know me well, I tend to wear my tinfoil hat a little cocked to the side. I never believe the narrative. I kind of have this thing where I'm like, yeah, but what's the real story? I've had a conspiracy theory for a long time that Pinterest is full of recipes, DIYs, and stuff that people have either never done or they've done and it looks good, so they share it on their blog, they share it on Pinterest, they share it on YouTube. Because you know what, especially with food, it may look good it may taste like absolute garbage. That was my first attempt at yogurt. The consistency came out right. I actually used the same method that I used here, except that I just used I used a gallon of Fairlife milk, which is very, very, very expensive. It's like, for a half gallon, it was like, I think it was like $4 something, even at my Aldi. And I was like, no, I can't be doing this. $8 for all of this yogurt. No, it came to more than that. And so I tried that. The method worked really well. The consistency was perfect, but it tasted awful because there was no sweetener. It was just milk and yogurt. And so it said you can add some vanilla extract and some maple syrup or some honey. And I thought, okay, that's fine. Y'all, your girl kept adding, I was putting so much maple syrup in there, so much vanilla. I'm like, this can't be right. I can't be dumping all of this maple syrup in here. It does not taste good. My kids wouldn't eat it. It was just not happening. And so that was my first attempt. The second attempt, I followed the no boil method, which basically means you just put the milk and whatever sweetener, whatever, in the Instant Pot and then hit the yogurt button and let it go for 8 or 9 hours. So basically I wasn't bringing it up to temperature, then bringing it down to temperature, and then running the yogurt cycle. I was just heating it in the yogurt cycle and then cooling it and then eating it like that. The consistency, you guys, no, it wasn't good. And so my third attempt was successful. And I decided I'm not going to use Fairlife milk anymore because that crap's expensive. So I just decided to use my regular Aldi half gallon because I don't need a gallon of yogurt. Maybe other families do. That's great. I don't. So I just used my half gallon of my Aldi yogurt. I used about a half a can of the sweetened condensed milk and then the yogurt. And I did exactly the method that you saw today, and I was like, yes! And so since then, I have made it 2 other times, not counting this one, and I found success. So I did not find success with the no boil method. For me, I found that the more work I put into it, like bringing it up to temperature and then cooling it and then adding the stuff, stirring it, doing the yogurt setting, and then putting it in the fridge. It took a little bit longer, but it was so unbelievably worth it. So I know you guys are wondering, is this a cost-effective method? I would say yes. Is it the healthiest method? Probably not, especially considering using the sweetened condensed milk. I used organic milk, that's great. I used high quality cultures, that's great. The sweetened condensed milk is kind of where it may go off the rails a little bit. But there are a lot of ingredients that I didn't have to use that are in the small yogurt. But it is absolutely cost effective. It may depend on how cost effective, that's totally going to depend on where you shop and what your prices are. But I just did a little tallying when I went to the store, and I got my organic milk, a half gallon at Aldi for $2.89. By the way, that is an incredible deal. If you're not aware, that's an incredible deal. Another million reasons to shop at Aldi, and that's one. My condensed milk was $1.09 and my yogurt was $1 for the cultures. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, but if you can set aside your yogurt that you've already made and use that for your next batch. You don't necessarily have to buy a new thing of cultured yogurt every time you make this, so just keep that in mind. So that meant $4.98 for all of that yogurt. I don't even know how many I ended up, the small ones I ended up making, but I made a bunch of the small ones, and then I have that jar I showed you that I filled halfway up. And that's I can use that to refill the smaller ones, or if I just want yogurt on my granola or in my smoothie, I can just use that. I did not put vanilla extract in my yogurt. You can totally do that, but I think the flavor is really good as it is. So this cost me a little less than $5, or I guess we could just say right at $5 for all that yogurt. And especially Greek yogurt is expensive. Those little things of Greek yogurt are sometimes like $1 each or more. And this, you can control the ingredients much better. So this is my yogurt video. I thought about doing all of this chit chat about my process in the beginning, but you know what? That's what I hate about these blogs, these recipe blogs. They give you this mountain of information. It's like a backstory. I don't need a backstory on your recipe. Just give me the recipe. Okay. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I would like to do more Instant Pot videos, but you guys, I'm still learning, and I don't want to bring you guys information unless it's good and tried and true. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Be sure to click that subscribe button, and of course hit the notification bell if you want to receive a notification about all my new videos coming forward soon. And leave a comment if you have any technique tips, any ideas for making it more interesting, toppings, or you could just leave what you like to do with your yogurt. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.